but you mean the world to me, 'cause you saved me from my
Once upon a time, in a small town nestled in the hills of Italy, there lived a young woman named Poppy. She had grown up in a large family, and despite her many siblings, she often felt alone. Poppy longed for something more in life, and that's when she met Matteo. One day, as Poppy was walking through the town square, she noticed a new face. It was a handsome young man sitting on a bench, reading a book. Poppy was drawn to him, and as she walked by, she noticed that the book he was reading was about the town's history.
Excuse me, that's a really interesting book you're reading.
The man looked up and smiled.
Yes, it is. I've just moved here from the city and I'm trying to learn more about this town. My name is Matteo, by the way.
I'm Poppy, nice to meet you.
They started talking about the town's history, and Poppy was impressed by Matteo's knowledge and curiosity. They exchanged numbers and started going out on dates, exploring the hills and valleys around their town. As they got to know each other better, they realized that they had a lot in common. They were both passionate about learning and exploring, and they loved spending time outdoors. One evening, as they sat by the river, Matteo turned to Poppy.
Poppy, I have to tell you something. I've been thinking about it for a while now, and I don't want to keep it to myself anymore. I love you, Poppy. I know we haven't been dating for long, but I feel like we have a connection that is deeper than anything I've ever experienced.
Poppy was stunned. She had been feeling the same way, but she was too scared to say it out loud.
Matteo, I feel the same way. I love you too.
From that moment on, their relationship deepened. They spent their days exploring the hills and valleys, learning about the town's history, and dreaming about the future. As the months passed, they fell more and more in love with each other. They went on picnics, took long walks, and explored the town together. They talked about their hopes and dreams, and shared their deepest secrets. One day, as they were hiking up a mountain, Matteo stopped and turned to Poppy.
Poppy, there's something I want to ask you.
He took a small box out of his pocket.
Will you marry me?
Poppy was overjoyed.
Yes, Matteo, I will.
Their engagement was a happy time for both of them. They spent hours planning their wedding, deciding on the perfect location, the flowers, the music, and the food. Poppy's family was overjoyed at the news, and they all pitched in to help with the preparations. On the day of the wedding, Poppy was a vision in white. She wore a beautiful dress that flowed around her like a cloud, and her hair was swept up in an elegant bun. Matteo looked handsome in his suit, and he couldn't take his eyes off her as she walked down the aisle. As they exchanged their vows, they both knew that they had found the person they were meant to be with. They kissed and were pronounced husband and wife, and the entire town erupted in cheers. Their wedding reception was a joyous affair, with dancing and music and lots of food. Poppy and Matteo were the center of attention, and they felt surrounded by love and happiness. As the night wore on, Poppy and Matteo found themselves sitting alone at a small table, watching the festivities.
I can't believe we're married. It feels like a dream.
It's real, Poppy. We're married, and we're going to spend the rest of our lives together. I couldn't be happier.
They spent the rest of the night dancing and celebrating with their friends and family. As the evening drew to a close, Poppy and Matteo said their goodbyes and headed off to their new home together. Their first year of marriage was filled with love and joy. They settled into their new home and spent their days exploring the hills and valleys around their town. They started a garden together and planted flowers and vegetables that they nurtured with care. One day, as they were walking through the woods, they stumbled upon a small waterfall. They sat down by the water, and Matteo turned to Poppy.
Poppy, do you remember when we first met? When you asked me about the history of this town?
Yes, I do. That was the day everything changed for us.
I know. I just wanted to say that I'm so grateful we met. You've brought so much love and happiness into my life, and I can't imagine a day without you.
Poppy leaned in and kissed Matteo.
I feel the same way. You are my best friend and my soulmate, and I love you more than anything in this world.
They spent the rest of the day by the waterfall, talking about their future and dreaming about all the things they wanted to do together. They knew that they had found true love, and that nothing could ever come between them. Years passed, and Poppy and Matteo grew old together. They spent their days tending to their garden, going on long walks, and telling stories to their grandchildren. They celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary with a big party, surrounded by friends and family. As they sat together in their old age, Matteo turned to Poppy.
Poppy, I have one more thing I have to tell you.
What is it?
I love you more today than I did the day we got married. You are my everything, Poppy, and I'm so grateful to have spent my life with you.
I love you too, Matteo. You are my rock and my light, and I'm grateful for every moment we've had together.
And with that, they held each other close, knowing that their love would last forever.